Hi everyone, welcome to our YouTube channel. If you're new here, welcome to our channel, and if you've been here before, thanks for watching another video. My name is Catalina, and I am here today to talk about a topic that's maybe not so fun to talk about, but it's necessary, and that is sick season essentials that we need in order to take care of our babies when they're sick. We have two kids under 2. We have a 5-month-old and a 20-month-old. And the first sick season with our toddler was absolutely rough. It was insane. I'm just going to say it. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It rocked us. We had a hospitalization within that time. We had, I don't know what kind of bug and virus. I'm talking every other week. So because of that, because we went through the trenches the first time, he was little at that time. He was about 9 months old. We learned a lot. And I feel like with that, we have been able to carry that onto our next baby. And we just feel so much more confident and secure in our abilities. And that's kind of the reason why I wanted to make this video, was to just share our knowledge. If this can help anybody out, it's successful for us. Like, just to help another mom, another dad out to survive this. Like, we're in it together, guys. Like, parenting, we're a team. We're all parents. We should be together as a team. So no gatekeeping. We're going to share the essentials that we kind of found that we needed, that we repurchased this year to have, so that maybe you can create a kit at home. Because the worst thing, and we learned this from experience, is your child being sick and you not having the things that you need. And I'm not about overconsumption, I'm not about hoarding supplies and having all the things, but I am all about being ready. And the worst thing you could do is your baby is sick and you got to run to the store to get Motrin, and you have to run to the store because you don't have a humidifier, or you don't have this, and they're out of stock. So now you're home with the baby, mom or dad's running out trying to find something. Like, we just want to avoid that. That's not fun. Not fun. So we just want to share basically a survival kit and what we have in ours at all times, just in case one of our babies does get sick. Like I said, we are parents of 2 under 2. I'm also a registered nurse. I'm not a pediatric nurse. I'm a regular adult nurse. But I feel like I've been able to take whatever I've learned in my nursing career to bring it home to my kiddos to help take care of them. But with that said, none of this in this video is medical advice at all. Nope. Now, we completely understand that everyone's experience is different. What happened to us may have not happened to you. What happened to you may not have happened to us. This is just our recommendations from our experience with our babies. So consider this maybe some sisterly advice. I'm a big sister. This is what I would tell my little sisters if they had kids and they needed to have things ready. So these are the 7 items that we recommend you have in your medicine cabinet at all times for your babies in case they do get sick. The first one is some sort of electrolyte drink. The one that we use is called Berry Light Organic. When I started looking for something like this, all I saw was like Pediasure, and I read the ingredients in Pediasure, and it's not great. And I understand that when it's time, you're going to use whatever you have, but we're very intentional about what we put in our kids' bodies, and we just didn't want all of that junk to go inside of them. So we ordered one. I believe it was from Target, but Amazon also has it. Warning, it comes in 2 different flavors, strawberry and berry. And we drank some of it just to taste it. And the strawberry one is okay. The berry one is delicious. Clean ingredients. I'll probably post a picture of the ingredients here so you can see. We just felt very comfortable giving this to our baby. And the reason why we want to have this in stock at all times is that the number one reason why kids are hospitalized when they're sick is dehydration. They're not eating, they're not drinking as they usually do because they're not feeling well, their throat is hurting. So because of that, they become dehydrated. And that's usually the reason why kids are hospitalized. So as soon as we see any sign of boogers or them not feeling well, we start hydrating them extra. For our little baby, it's breastfeeding, but for a toddler, it's just drinking a lot of water and this electrolyte drink, which is coconut water based, to just keep them hydrated and keep them well to prevent any type of hospitalization. Also, a parent pro tip is to make popsicles out of them. So we have these little molds, popsicle molds, and we just make popsicles out of the electrolyte drink. And if it's summertime, we just give it to our baby and he's having a ball. But the flavor is really great and he loves it. So I highly recommend that. Item number 2 is fever reducing medicines. And this is a duh, obviously, we should have this ready. But quick little story, when our baby was about 6 months old, he spiked a really high fever. It got to about 104, and we gave him Tylenol, and it wasn't working. And we felt comfortable that we had Tylenol, but it just was not breaking the fever. So we realized that we needed to give something in between, like the Motrin, and we realized we didn't have any. Luckily, my sister was on her way to our house, and she stopped by and grabbed one for us. But in that moment, I was in the tub with our baby trying to cool him down, and the last thing I wanted was to have to run to go get Motrin. Afterwards, I was really like kicking myself, like, why didn't I have that ready? I should have known better, but it is what it is. And that's why I recommend having the 2 different type of fever reducing medicine, which is acetaminophen and the Motrin or ibuprofen, to fight the fever. That way you can alternate between the 2. If the fever is really bad, then it can help reduce it like that. Like I mentioned earlier, we're very intentional about what we put in our kids' bodies. I found a clean version of Tylenol. It's called Genexa. It just doesn't have all the million ingredients and a bunch of crap in it. So we give that to him instead. And it's just as effective as Tylenol in our experience. Another thing to go with the medicines, or like a subcategory to that, is our pediatrician gave us a dosing chart for Motrin and for acetaminophen, and we carry that in our diaper bag, and we have that on our fridge, and we also have copies on our phone in case we're out and about and we need to give the medicine. We know exactly how much to give. It depends on their weight, so it's constantly, it's changing, and I just didn't want to worry about memorizing it. And when your baby is sick, you're just not thinking clearly. So I'd rather have a chart, see this is exactly what I need to give, and that's what I'm giving, just to eliminate any sort of errors. We keep the 2 medicines in our diaper bag at all times in case they're to spike a fever when we're out and about. We're able to give it to them if they need it. I think for me, the scariest part of our babies being sick is the fever. It's scary thinking that they could have febrile seizures. I've just seen too many incidents like that, and it's just really scary. So we just make sure that the fever is well controlled at all times. The 3rd item is my son's least favorite item, and that is the snot suckers. When they're sick, they got all that going on. And you can just tell, like, it's dripping, they're congested. So what we've learned is these bad boys are amazing. And we have one for each baby because they've been sick at the same time. This one was gifted, and then we couldn't find it, so we had to purchase this one. But we like both of them very much. It's just easier than like any manual remover with the bulb or any of that stuff. This, you charge it. I think we've charged it once in the almost 2 years that we've had it, and we've used it a lot. And it's just easier to just put it there and suction it out, and you can just see all the nastiness coming out. Just quick, easy, remove it, and it just helps them be able to breathe a little bit easier. Item number 4 is saline. So with all the gunk that's happening in them, we want to be able to take that out. And the easiest way to remove mucus is if it's thin. Thick mucus will stay in. So you want to thin it out. So normal saline is going to help thin the mucus so it can easily come out. The brand that we use is the Little Remedies Saline Mist. And what we've learned is that if the baby can sit up, it's easier to use. There's a spray bottle, so it's easier to just put in their nose and spray it so it goes up and the boogers can come down. We learned with our son that if we try to do like the drop, just like the regular droppers, and we would go to put him down, and he hated that. So it was easier just to have him sitting up, and then we spray him, and then it comes down. Now, for our little one that can't sit up yet and he's laying down, it's easier to do the drops because we can tilt his head back and put the drops in there. I guess you could spray it, but it's just a little nicer, I guess, not as aggressive to just put the drops in there versus spraying it for the little ones. Usually I just wait about 30 seconds after putting the saline in there to use the snot sucker to get everything out. It just allows it to get in there and loosen everything up before you try to remove it. Just a quick little intermission. My little one woke up from his nap. Hi, Mr. Mister. So you'll be my guest star for today. Yeah, you. Pro tip when it comes to removing all that snot and fun stuff from our babies when they're sick is do it in the bathtub. Let the steam just go all over the bathroom. Let it go into their nose and everything. And then you put the saline in and remove all of that gunk, and it will come out. and you will feel so accomplished because your baby can breathe better. And it's just so nice to see them being able to just feel a little better. Number 5 is a humidifier. We use the Frida Baby humidifier, and that is such a game changer. Um, One of the reasons why kids get pneumonia is that all of the gunk and stuff that's in their lungs stays stagnant in their lungs, and it creates an infection, and that's why they get pneumonia. So in order to prevent that, we need to get all of that gunk out or moving. And we know we already talked about removing it with the saline and with the snot sucker. Another great way to help with that is to have the humidifier running while they're sleeping. Hi. And the humidifier is going to thin the secretion so that it's easier for our babies to get that gunk out of their lungs so it doesn't stay stagnant and doesn't cause any more complications like pneumonia. Sometimes we'll add a drop of like a vapor rub thing, not the Vicks, but like the Frida Baby vapor rub, not vapor rub, vapor liquid to kind of help with that. But that's not necessary. As long as you have water, and we usually have to wake up to refill it once a night. But we love it, and it's really helped us feel better at night knowing that they're still getting some sort of care while we're all sleeping. And I say sleeping lightly because you're really not able to sleep. That's one of the hardest part about your kids being sick, is that you're just not sleeping because you're worried about them and you just want to be watching them and making sure they're okay. So parents don't get much sleep, but that's okay. We got to take care of our little ones, don't we? Number 6 is a thermometer. Now, this is super important because you need accurate readings of their temperature in order to really see what's going on. If it's really high, they're able to kind of assume that it's more of a viral thing. And like I said, just keeping the fever down is super important. So you want to make sure yeah. So you want to make sure that you have one that gives accurate readings. We had an experience where we had two different thermometers. We used one for the ear, one for the armpit, and it was giving us completely different readings. So in the end, we got a rectal temperature from Frida Baby. The rectal temperature is the most accurate way. So if you're in any sort of doubt, that's just the best way to go. The scare that we had was that it was reading at like 101, and once we did the rectal temp, it was much higher than that. And the rectal temp is going to be a little higher because it's more accurate, but it was just like a big difference where it's not just like a slight difference. It was something was wrong with the thermometers. I mean, the ear one is just not that it's not that accurate. Number 7 is my favorite, and it's a tool that we did not think was going to help us when our babies were sick, and it quickly became our favorite tool in helping us when our babies are sick, and that is the Owlet monitor. Now, the reason why, I know you're probably like, the Owlet sleeping monitor, how does that help you when your babies are sick? The reason for that is that the Owlet monitors their heart rate. So we're able to tell based off the heart rate if they have a fever or if they're fighting some sort of bug. Since we know what our baby's baseline heart rate is, once it was elevated, we were able to tell if they had a fever because it was a significant difference. So let's say his regular heart rate was 110 on average. When he has a fever, it goes up to 150 or 160. So with that, we were actually able to tell early on, like, oh man, his body is fighting something because his heart rate is 130, 140. And then it spikes up to 160, and we know, okay, he has a fever, we need to like check him. And we're constantly feeling them to see if they feel warm while they're sleeping. But it's extra nice as you're monitoring your baby on your phone, watching them through the camera to see that their heart rate is increasing a little bit and a little bit. So let me go right now to check them instead of in an hour. It's such a nice tool to have, because then we know when they're feeling better. Also, we're like, okay, his heart rate is back to the 115s. Okay, he's getting better. So it's reassuring. And of course, the Owlet in general is our favorite because it monitors them. It allows us to get rest. I'm a very I'm not. I'm the opposite of a chill parent, especially when they're sick. And I think that's the nursing in me. I've seen a lot of crazy things, so I'm a little more cautious. And having the Owlet just really allows me to just feel better, knowing that they're monitored when I'm asleep. But we just never expected it to help us in the times where they're sick, and we love it. And we know it's expensive. We were hesitant to buy it when we were shopping around just because it is pricey, but we ended up buying it. And if we had to do it again, if ours broke, I would buy it again. That's how much we love it. And the way we ended up getting it, it was on sale. I used my Target card to get 5% off. I used my registry to get the 15% off. And I used gift cards that were given to me at my baby shower to pay for that. So those are the 7 items that we love to have on our medicine cabinet and ready at all times in case our babies do get sick. Not in case, when our babies get sick. Yeah, I know, it's gonna happen. I'm sorry. I know. But you just feel better knowing that you're prepared for whatever comes your way, as prepared as possible. Yeah, I know. Having your baby sick is honestly the worst part of parenting, is to not see them well, because you just want to take all of that away from them, and all you are praying for during that time is for them to feel better. And you just, I know, I would always just vow to not take it for granted when they are healthy. And it's just not a fun time, and we do everything that we can to prevent illnesses, eating whole foods, getting sunlight, getting some fresh air, taking our vitamins, mom taking her vitamins so that baby can get it through breast milk. But it's inevitable, our babies are going to get sick, but we can do our best to prevent. I know. Well, we can do our best to prevent it from getting too serious. So I am a firm believer 100% in preventative care versus trying to treat things after they're done. And that's just the nurse in me, and that's just the mom in me now too. But we will be linking all of the items that I talked about in our description below. I linked everything from my Amazon that we were able to just order it if you do want it. I really, truly, wholeheartedly hope that this was able to help someone just to feel a little more prepared and secure. If you're a new parent and you're nervous about this season, or you're nervous about your babies being sick, just know it's totally normal, and your confidence will grow as a parent as you experience these things and kind of go through these obstacles. That's something that we've realized having our second one is like, okay, we've already been through this, we've done this before, we can do this. So your confidence as a parent will grow. I promise you it will. So that's just a little bit of advice for new parents. I know it's a lot, but you can do it. You were chosen to be your kids' parents, and you're more than capable of doing that. If you have any items or any suggestions that you think somebody would get value from, go ahead and leave them in the comments below. And maybe I can learn something new, or other parents can learn something new based off your experience. Together we can get through this 6th season. And I just hope that you stay healthy, that your babies stay healthy, and that you're still able to enjoy these months with your babies. I thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget to like this video if anything resonated with you. And also maybe send it to a new parent, or send it to a parent that is currently going through a lot with their kids. Maybe it can help them out. So if you share it with them, maybe I can somehow add value to them, which is my goal for this. We pray that you have an incredible day, an incredible time, and that you stay healthy. And we will see you in the next video. Bye.